Welcome to another edition of Inside PressBox presented by Maryland Mutual Mortgage. I'm your host, Stan the Fan Charles, and joining me tonight is award-winning director and producer, someone who's considered to be one of the best sports media writers in the business. That's our friend Jim Williams of the Washington Examiner. But first, the Baltimore Blast defeated the Missouri Comets last weekend to win the 2010-11 MISL regular season title, and they will now host the winner of the Missouri-Milwaukee series for all the marbles, the 2010-11 MISL championship on Friday, March 25th at First Mariner Arena. With me in the studio to talk about that is Robbie Aristodemo. How are you, Robbie?
Good, great. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure to have you on as well. Does this ever get old hat for you? I mean, you were telling me this will be the Blast's, sixth championship in the last 8 seasons, and will be your 4th in 6 seasons.
No, it definitely doesn't get old. It's the reason why we put on the soccer shoes every morning and train as hard as we do to win a championship. So hopefully on the 25th of March we can hoist that trophy up for all the fans here in Baltimore.
Do you have a preference for who you play? As we tape this, I know they played last night, and I don't know who won last night, Milwaukee or Missouri. But do you have a preference?
I don't. I think it's a little bit of bad luck of trying to pick who you want to play in a final. Obviously, Missouri is the lower seed. They don't have as much experience as Milwaukee. But like I said, I don't want to jinx us and kind of pick who we want to play. Both going to give us different problems, but both teams that we can definitely win and beat.
You know, in the old days in sports, winning a championship was sort of, I mean, you wanted to win the championship when the season started, but there was money at the end of the line. What do you guys make, at the end? Is it for the money, or is it just for pride, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly for pride. I mean, obviously we do this, for me it's a full-time living playing for the Blast, and every part of my life is dedicated to doing Blast stuff, community stuff off the field. But when we win a championship, the best part is getting that team picture, hoisting the trophy, getting that championship ring at the end of the season. So, those are the things we play for.
All right, now, we had Jules on, Salenza, a couple weeks, about 6 weeks ago. And right after that, he announced he was going to retire. I guess it was being on with us here on the show. But he's had a good long run. How about you? This is your ninth season all told in the MISL. How much more gas you got in the tank?
Well, I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, I've played every game this season and I've contributed every game. And I think, as an athlete, you want to play as long as you're contributing. So, the time when I feel I'm not helping the team win ball games is probably I'm going to take a hard look at myself and decide when it's time to walk away from the game. Now,
we talked before we went on the air. You played your college. You're from Toronto, Canada, but you played your soccer collegiately at Oklahoma, of all places. How did they scout you or find out about you to offer you a full ride?
Yeah, I mean, soccer it's a small world, the soccer community throughout North America, really. And I went to the University of Tulsa on a soccer scholarship, and one of the scouts at Tulsa saw me play in a big tournament in Washington, D.C. Offered me a full ride. I went up there, and my mom actually lived in San Diego, so the conference revolved around a lot of teams in the West Coast at the time. So I figured it was a perfect fit. Got a chance to see my mom and play against some nice teams in some beautiful cities.
Now, when you finished college soccer, you played professionally for a couple of years with the San Diego Sockers in the MISL. You got sort of a fondness for San Diego weather?
Yeah, well, I love San Diego. It's probably the #1 city for me as far as climate, all year round weather. You got the ocean there, the beaches. It's beautiful. I got married there on the ocean, so I got fond memories of the Sockers and San Diego as a city.
Now, you were with San Diego, I believe, 2 years. Then you played briefly for Cleveland before coming to Baltimore. And it's been a pretty good run here of 6 years. That's pretty unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, I'm not a hometown player, so having someone out of country to stick with a team for 6 years is pretty special, and it's been great for me.
What about the Blast? What do you think makes them so special and so consistently good? you know, maybe not great every season, but consistently able to contend for championships?
Well, I think first and foremost, our owner is very dedicated and committed to the squad. Ed Hale has done a tremendous job. General manager Kevin Healy, he knows the game in and out, so he finds the right players year in and year out. We've got a great mix of veterans and some young players year in and year out, and obviously the community, the fans. I mean, starting in 1980, we've got a great following, and that's carried over to 2010, 2011 season. So when you step out on that field, you got to win.
Would you like to, I know this is kind of ridiculous to ask you this, but how much would it mean to have a packed house there for the championship game on Friday the 25th?
Yeah.
I mean 10,500, 11,000 instead of 6,500 or 7,000.
Well, it makes a big difference. We played a final 2 years ago here in Baltimore against Rockford. We had about 10, 11,000, and it was a tremendous atmosphere, and we're hoping for the same thing. If not, a sellout would be phenomenal.
Hey, real quick, we got less than a minute. With this NFL lockout going on, Chad Ochocinco now, I read that he's going to get his ultimate goal is to play soccer in the Major Soccer League, MISL. How do you think that'll play? He apparently played high school or college soccer.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. He's a fairly tall athlete. I mean, he might be able to offer something in the air, but maybe we should give him a call, see if he wants to come down and try out for the Blast.
Well, I don't think Danny Kelly would like that. Hey, Robbie, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks again.
Again, the championship game is Friday night, March the 25th. Tickets are available that they should go pretty quickly. Good luck, Robbie. Before we take a break, let's take a look at our photo of the week, brought to you by Yingling Lager, a true American classic. Taste the quality that 180 years of family-owned and operated tradition brews into every single bottle. Sabina Moran was at the Blast game last weekend and snapped this shot of Robbie Aristodemo. No, it's Max Ferdinand as he was making his way to the goal. Ferdinand led the Blast with 8 points as they beat the Missouri Comets 17-6, clinching the 2010-11 MISL regular season title. As mentioned before, the Blast will host the championship game at First Mariner Bank on Friday, March 25th. Get the most complete Blast coverage at PressBoxOnline.com. Brian Roberts returned to practice in Sarasota, and CSNBaltimore.com was there. You can check out that video and a lot more from spring training at CSNBaltimore.com.